Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Reviews and Reactions podcast, where me and my co-host Liam talk about games each week. This week, we'll be talking about the Dragon Age franchise, which started as a series with a novel called The Stolen Throne. We'll first be talking about the first game, Dragon Age Origins. They are the series of games that are developed by a game company called BioWare, which have created games like Mass Effect, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the original Baldur's Gate games, and many more. The first Dragon Age Origins, came out in 2009, where you play as the hero Ferelden, which is your job to unite the nation of Ferelden against the Fifth Blight. My co-host Liam will tell you all about the Blights.
Where an army of undead-like creatures known as the Darkspawn invade the continent or world of Fadas, where they're led by an entity known as an archdemon, which is a dragon, and their goal is to spread the blight, which is a very infectious and toxic idea. Where do we go from that?
And then from that, the game starts with you as the player doing your character customizer, where you select your gender, your race, and then a general customizer. The big thing about this game is where you get to select its many origins that explore the different races and cultures of the world. Like, if you pick an elf, you get two selections of being a Dalish elf or a city elf. The Dalish elf, more nomadic elves who were raised in the forest in small groups spread across the world. Then a city elf is an elf that was raised in the city. They're more prejudiced against the group.
There's a lot of racism around them.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's just the easiest way of doing it.
They are the race that, due to happened previously in the world, they are looked down upon. Then the dwarven origins, which Liam has played.
In the Dwarven Origins, you explore how, for the Dwarven Noble, like how you have Sea Elf and Dalish, it's split between a Dwarven Noble and Dwarven Commoner. For Dwarven Noble, you're essentially the son of the King of Orzammar, the main city of the Dwarves, where there's a fight for succession, where your brothers try to betray you, whereas for the Dwarven Commoner origin, you are found as what is known as casteless, which is commonly the most looked down upon group of dwarves, where it is stated that someone in their lineage or they themselves have committed a great crime against the dwarves. You find yourself as a member of the main dwarven, essentially, mafia, the Garter. And there's essentially both the dwarven origins. Does that work?
And then if you pick a human race, there's only one origin, which is the human noble, where you play as a human noble, where your family is betrayed and you have to escape your house being murdered. And then, no matter what you choose, if your class is the mage, you get shoved into one origin, where you are a part of the Magi Circle, and you have to do your a coming of age thing, a test to make sure you're not corruptible. There we go. By demons. Yeah, okay. After you do your origin, you're conscripted into Grey Wardens, where you play for a small prologue where you meet your first two companions, a apostate mage called Morrigan and a Grey Warden called Alistair. Your first two companions for the game that you will play through the game with. During the prologue of the game, you make your way through a ruinous temple area called Ostagar, in which you find what you need to become a Grey Warden. ancient, the group that swore themselves to defeat Great Darkspawn and the Blight. Then, from nearing the end of it, you are betrayed by a General Loghain. General Loghain, who will be the main villain of the game, as the Darkspawn are more of an endless, mindless horde. You are saved. See where you were saved by Morrigan's mother, called Flemeth. Where you were saved, yeah, you were saved from the Darkspawn. Where you were saved from the same. Yeah, where you're saved by the Darkspawn from Flemeth, and this starts the real game where you go across Ferelden to unite. Ferelden to unite the different groups against the Blight. Your four groups you have to unite are Orzammar, the dwarves, the Dalish elves, the Circle of Magi, and is there another one?
No, because that's Landsme afterwards.
Then the nobles. Then yeah, you must unite those three groups, and then throughout your journey from those three groups, you'll meet 5 more companions throughout your journey. Those companions will be a part of. Okay.
You want me to cover the companions?
Okay. My co-host Liam will talk about the companions.
Throughout the game, you'll meet around 7 or so companions, whatever my co-host says it. I do not remember specifically, but you'll meet.
You will meet 7. You will meet 7 companions with another companion that is a DLC companion that is attached to the game that you have to purchase, called Shale. Go into that later. My host Liam will explore, will tell you about the 7 main companions throughout the game. With the other 5.
Throughout the game, you'll meet, in a rough order, a member of the Chantry, which is essentially the main religion for humanity in Dragon Age. Member called Leliana, who is later learned to be an ex-assassin, and has a very interesting story around that. Then you'll have the possibility, but not as likely, to meet a member of the Qunari, which is a race you don't learn much about in Origins, called Sten. Very interesting character, very angry compared to a lot of the other characters. Soon
Then after those two, due to how Origins is set up, the next few companions are more. You choose which order you play the game, in which group you go recruit. So, if you pick Orzammar, you would Oghren, who is a part of the warrior caste of Orzammar, the military, basically, who is you find as a drunken outcast from his peers, where he wants to join you as you adventure through the deep roads to find his wife, Bronga. And then after you do your journey through there, he will join you. Join your journey to defeat the Archdemon. Then, if you would choose...
Eventually, if you return to the Circle of Magi, or if you're not a mage origin, you would see how it's in disarray, and you'd meet a lovely old mage named Wynn. Can be a bit judgmental, where you learn she's essentially on the precipice of death, and she wants to join you to finally stop this plight, as she wants a life purpose, essentially.
After you've gotten two of the group's assistants with two of the group's loyalty, then you will get a random interaction in the overworld map where you will interact with an assassin sent by Loghain to stop you. This assassin is called Zevron. You have the choice to either kill him or get him to join you. He is your comedic relief character. After you've gotten that, you will go. The other group is the Dalish Elves, where you will help them with their problem and get their loyalty. Once you've done that, you then go to Redcliffe and help their problem. What Liam will tell you about.
Hypothetically, you would do Redcliffe before the Circle of Magi, due to it being the first area you're forced to after the starting area, which gets cancelled off. But for Redcliffe, you meet who is essentially Alistair's uncle, Eamon, and his son is infected by a demon, which due to being a mage. So you need to find a workaround to either cure his son or kill his son to stop Redcliffe from being constantly attacked by said demon. Once you've done this, you would probably finish the game after you've done all 4 areas. Like, go to the big final bit called the Landsmeet, where you have to get diplomatic approval. Haven's site, actually. No, I will backtrack a bit, actually. Where you have to go to a location called Haven due to Eamon's poor health and find what's known as the Urn of Sacred Ashes. Where the Urn of Sacred Ashes is essentially a cure-all, which is known to cure any illness, which you need to help Eamon. But you have to go to this location called Haven, which is overrun by a cult. And you do a climb up the mountain, get the ashes, return to Eamon, and this is where you'd finally enter the final act of the game.
The final act of the game is called the Landsmeet, where now with all of your groups, you will unite to kick. Okay, where you will try and get the nobility of Ferelden on your side against Loghain, who has been trying to stop you this entire time. And then during this, you will be sent on a few missions within the city, the capital of Ferelden, called Denerim. When you are here, you will go visit a few key locations to find ways to get the nobility on your side during the Landsmeet. Eventually, you will get the information you need, and then when you get to the end, you will go to a court with all of the leading nobles, and you will present your case against Loghain. During this part of the game, depending on what you had done previously, you will either succeed in getting them on your cause, allowing for a peaceful end to the Landsmeet, or you will fail and you will be attacked and you will have to put everyone down. If you successfully persuade them, you will get the chance to get a secret companion where you will be able to get Loghain to become a Grey Warden and fight by your side. Doing this Alistair will be completely opposed to this, and if you do this, he will leave you permanently. Then, depending on your actions here, you will finally be ready for your final assault against the army of the Darkspawn.
This is where you get one final big choice, where you only recently get told at the end of the Landsmeet section that a Grey Warden has to die for the Archdemon to die alongside them. So this is where you get a choice of to either kill the Warden companion being that you recruit, because Logain becomes a warden after this process, after the lands meet if you recruit him. So you can either sacrifice Alistair, Logain, or yourself, or there's this secret third option where if you romance Morrigan, since this game has multiple different romantic options of where you can date characters, you can have essentially you can just have a child of Morrigan, which would absorb the soul of the Archdemon. And this is all you get told about in Origins, where you finally get the option to climb a tower, do the traditional fantasy trope of slaying the dragon and saving the world.
And that is Dragon Age Origins is finale. When playing through this game, my favorite part was doing the final climb, final bit of the game where you go through the army of the Darkspawn to kill the Archdemon. My favorite companion throughout the game is the Qunari called Sten. His plotline of gaining his trust is very interesting. There we go.
My overall favorite segment of the game is probably Orzammar, since I normally play dwarves in these style of games, because especially for Dragon Age, their lore is quite interesting, where they don't like the surface. They like to live underground in their little caves. Whereas my favorite character is probably Zevran, the elf assassin, because I just like the style of comedic relief characters that these games normally have compared to a lot of other comedic relief.
Thank you for joining us as we talk about Dragon Age Origins.
And join us next time as we talk about Dragon Age 2.
There we go.